LG wins LAIC. LG wins EUIC. LG wins NAIC. They have assembled the Infinity Gauntlet of trophies here as they take their pose in the center of Thea Sky Ruins. One of the best to ever do it, Luminosity Gaming!
Luminosity Gaming, you said maybe the best to ever do it, one of the best to ever do it. I think it's really safe to say the best to ever do it with an exclamation point.
LG wins.
Alright, what is up guys? We won NEIC. We have made history. The first Pokemon players ever across any game to win all of the international championships in a single season. There's NEIC, EUIC, and LEIC. So this is the official Pokemon page, and you can see these are the only international championships the whole season. We've won them all. The last one is Worlds, which we're obviously still trying to win. So I thought I'd give you guys some sneak peeks of the stream, since I don't normally go over all of the stuff in my vids, but I was like, maybe I should do that. So this is the official tweet of us winning. What's funny about this is they did not have a media day for us, because these are our pictures from LAIC. So when we went to Brazil in like November, these are our pictures from then. So you can see I have completely different hair now. All of us look very slightly different. So that was definitely really funny. Here's my picture on stage after winning with the whole team. We have one of the OG trio too. NEIC champion, unstoppable. 3 international wins in a row. And I thought I'd also show you guys what the venue looks like, since I don't normally show the venue, but this is where you walk in. You can see there's a lot of people, because it's all the Pokemon games combined at events like this, and there's always a giant Pikachu. Never fails to have a giant Pikachu, no matter what. This was their show at the start. So yeah, it was jazz this time, because New Orleans is like the home of jazz, where it all began, is what a lot of people consider. From what I know, I'm a Pokemon gamer though. I'm not a math or a history nerd. So we got a little Spraggles rap about New Orleans as well that I thought I'd share.
Welcome back to NAIC here in New Orleans, the final stretch. It's the Pokemon Unite Championship Series. We're back. Come back to.
I hope you guys enjoyed that as much as I did. And then they actually made art of us winning. They always make art of us winning, but what's funny is they literally made me look so good in this art. Like, but then they did my teammates so dirty. So if we compare the pictures, it's not letting me zoom in much, but this is supposed to be Trainer, okay? They literally like whitewash him. Oh, I closed the other one, but okay, we can see it here. So
Raise those trophies.
okay, so this is Trainer, right? And this is him here. They made him look like a 30-year-old man. This is Overlord. I guess he looks slightly similar, so he looks okay. They made me look way better than normal, which they have done in like all of the art they've made for me. And I actually found out from replying to this tweet that the artist right here, this is the official artist of the thing, for some creds for her, because she deserves it. Loves to draw my smile apparently, so that's why she always does my teammates dirty and not me. But this is Otter. I think she did Otter a little dirty too. This is Otter normally, right there. And then this is Kyriaos, and I feel like they kind of whitewashed Kyriaos slightly as well. So this is Kyriaos. Oh wait, let me get a better angle. Oh, it's hard to get a better angle, but I'm sure a lot of you know what Kyriaos looks like. I also have an interview with Kyriaos, so I can show him here.
Yeah, it feels amazing to kind of leave a legacy that I think no other team will be able to replicate. And yeah, there's only one thing left. We all know what it is.
So if you don't know what it is, he's referring to winning Worlds again. We've won Worlds twice now, but for the third time in a row. So now I'm going to recap the grand final games. I'll see you there.
Bring out these players. Let's start with our dueling attackers, Kyriaos and Oblivion.
And coming up next, oh, the crowd, you hear that? That's a lot of cheering. Coming up next, the immovable object versus the immovable object, Slash and Pikadiff.
Okay, so some context here is me and Pikadiff did a face-off at NEIC when I won last year. I was on a different team from Luminosity last year at Final Stretch. I was on Team G, and we won, and I faced Pikadiff. So we're refacing in the Final Stretch finals again, twice in a row, and we did a face-off last year that looked really cool, and he told me he wanted to do it again. But then, so that's why I'm looking at him when I walk out on stage. And so if you see, as soon as I walk out, I'm looking at him, and he just didn't do it. And I even asked him after, I'm like, I thought you wanted to do the face-off we did before. And he's like, oh yeah, I forgot. So yeah, that's some funny context there.
And the masters of the EXP share, Otter and Dispenza.
Otter just did a 3-0 if you couldn't tell.
And
meaning
last
we're gonna
but
3-0
certainly
them.
not least, our hyperflexes, Overlord and Lunier.
So Lunier just did a Blaziken pose. I'm actually not sure what pose Overlord did.
All right, now that
Maybe
we
like an
got
El
our
Diablo
teams
pose.
all set on stage, we're going to invite two players up here to have a few words before our match. Let's get Celeste. Let's get Otter.
Okay, so before they go into this interview, for some fun context on this matchup, so we're facing Revelation, who is a lesser-known NA team, but in this tournament, they actually beat Orange Juicers, who were the NA regional finals twice in a row. Very good team. They beat, and OJ beat Nouns, which is the best European team. So Revelation is actually coming out of one of the hardest brackets in any tournament this season. So very impressive. But what's funny about Revelation is a lot of these are former teammates. So Oblivion was one of our former teammates that we kicked off after a month due to various reasons. And then Celestial is a former teammate of Otter. So Otter actually won NEIC in 2023 with Celestial on his team. And since then, they've been beefing. They're not on the best of terms. And that's why they did this interview together, because it would be funny.
Hello, gentlemen. Welcome to the stage. Well earned that you're here. I believe we're going to be starting off with questions over here to Celeste.
Yeah, all right, we've done these a few times, but of course, this is a very fun matchup. Former teammates battling here on stage. Of course, this is going to be an exciting matchup. Your team's done a whole lot of prep. You've had an amazing run so far to make it to the grand finals. A lot of MVP performances from a lot of different players. But who on your team is going to need to clutch up if you're going to be able to take down LG?
I think a lot of it rests on Pika and his engages. So as long as Pika does what he's been doing, I believe we'll win. Yeah.
I did not expect him to say Pikadiff, honestly. I thought he was going to say like Lunier or himself.
I liked it a lot. Look alive, Pikadiff.
Been looking great all weekend. All right, the last time that we talked in Japan, you said that North America was not helping LG improve because they weren't on the level to help improve. Now we're here, we're in the grand finals of a tournament with tons of, well, a good amount of international competition, and you are up against another North American team. Do you think that has changed at all with Revelation and how good they are currently, or is it the same as it was over at ACL?
Well, I'm happy to face Celestial because he's the only player who's won NAIC and never lost NAIC. So they're the only team, he's the only player standing in our way from embarrassing all the Western teams and winning all 3 ICs this season.
Okay.
That might be the nicest thing you've ever said about another team. So that is pretty great praise.
All right, I like this a lot. You were the final roadblock for LG, but I think you and the team thinks you might be a whole lot more than that. What's it going to take down this LG squad?
Honestly, I think we have what it takes already. Like, we've had such an amazing tournament. Everyone's been playing amazing, and I complete faith we'll win.
They did not, in fact, have what it takes.
All right, a whole lot of confidence coming out of Revelation.
All right, and your team has swept every single match that you've played this tournament. No losses.
Yeah, fun fact, we didn't lose a single game. We actually won a game where we played 5 speedsters.
I was going to ask this already. I feel like your intro maybe was a little bit of an answer, but what do you feel the score will be in this set against Revelation?
I think it'll be 3-1. I think he's really good at getting Rayquaza, so it's going to happen.
I love that. I love that. All right, gentlemen, if we could have just a quick stare down between the two of you set up on stage. We'll start with Celeste. One final word for your opponent in LG.
Good luck, you need it.
Oh, all right, now it's your turn. Your word for Revelation.
I'll say it to him after, but stand proud. You were strong.
Oh, okay. We have a farewell letter. All right, you two, go get set up for the game. Let's have a great matchup.
All right, we are now in draft. So we banned Psyduck Inteleon, and that's because Oblivion was looking pretty good on the Inteleon, and Dispenza was looking very good on the Psyduck. So these are target bans specifically to Revelation. Our blanket bans would probably be something different normally. We take the Leafeon, and it's not like we think Leafeon's the most broken Pokemon in the game, but it has a really good early game, and basically what we're saying is we're going to stomp you early game, and we're going to keep our lead the whole game. And so their response to that is Zoroark Comfy. And you can hear that Dusas got really excited. So some context for this pick, in ACL, we faced a bunch of Japanese teams, and Japan is the current world champions, that region, so it's a very strong region. And Zeta actually picked Zoro Comfy. We did end up beating Zeta twice in a row, actually, but one of the games we lost was to Zoro Comfy, and we got absolutely destroyed by it. So they did their homework. They're saying, hey, we saw you got destroyed by Zoro Comfy. Are you still weak to it? Let's see. But we have been preparing for Zoro Comfy. We realized there's a big weakness at ACL, and so Overlord picks Charizard, which has a 2% pick rate. And fun fact, the 2% pick rate is from Overlord. So Overlord picked Charizard early in the tournament. He's the only one who's been picking Charizard. But Charizard is actually really good into Zoroark Comfy because you can just pick up the Zoro Comfy no matter if he's unstoppable. The Charizard can pick up anyone at any time. So it's really good into Zoro Comfy, but also into Garchomp to cancel the Garchomp Unite move. And basically, the reason we're picking it is because we don't want them to flip. So they have Garchomp and Snorlax, which is really good for flipping Rayquaza. This team is known for just flipping objectives. And so we're trying to stop it with the Mime and the Charizard. And Mime is also a very good tank into the Zoroark Comfy. So we weren't playing Mime earlier in the season. Mime is actually my most played character, so I was very excited to finally play it on land. I don't think I've ever played on land. I'm closest to gold badge on Mime. So actually, I've been streaming daily. If you want to check out my streams, well, I was, but I'm gonna start again. I took a break, and I'm gonna be grinding gold badge Mime, so you guys can watch that. If you like the gameplay you see here, you can kind of look at it and see if you're interested. This is some cool graphic stuff before the game started. I did not know they added this. But yeah, so we're gonna be on the left side. They're gonna be on the right side. And so something I like to focus on in my pro reviews of these games, I'm giving you kind of my pro analysis as a 2-time world champion and 3-time in a row IC winner, is you should focus on the points being taken. So every time you get a farm, you get points. And this is more important than killing. This is more important than kills in lane, is getting these Indeedis in the lane and getting them. So they give 5 points over when you get the last hit on them. And getting the last hit is so important. And the casters aren't going to cover it, and I don't blame them. But you can see I got it because I went up to 7 points there. It might be a little blurry. but you can also see on the sides. So if you look at my points taken here, and that's how you can kind of keep track of who's winning lane. Look at the Garchomp and the Comfey. You look at their amount of points and you add it up. You look at the Blissey Charizard that are also in the same lane. Look at the amount of points, add it up, and it looks like the Garchomp is winning the lane because they just have more points taken. And so since they're not covering bot lane, you can also look at bot lane, and we are hard winning bot lane. That's 18 points total. This is 25 points total. So bot lane's going very well, and you can kind of keep track of that even when it's off screen. And so this first Bees timer is going to be very important to keep track of as well. And the reason the casters aren't going to cover stuff like this is they're trying to get new eyes on Unite. And it's kind of stuff you don't really want to cover for newcomers, casuals, because they're going to be really confused what's going on. But I know people on my channel watch the game a lot. They play the game a lot. So that's stuff I like to focus on more. So Zoro Comfey is going to be really strong on the first gank. We have Blissey Charizard, very weak lane. So now we're going to we're thinking about sending the Charizard to jungle potentially. The Leaf is going to stay and cover top. Leaf is very strong, so the Zoro can't push the pad even though he killed the Charizard. Everything right now is going well for us. We expected all of this. And so I'm the Mime, and I'm actually going to cover jungle right now to make sure they don't invade. We decided to send the Charizard back top so our Leafeon can get to that level 8 power spike faster. Right now our goal is to get that level 8 Leafeon ult as fast as possible. So Charizard just took one Baltoy, Leafeon took the rest of us, and they went mid. And now we're waiting in the bush. I do get the big B, which is huge. So they got the smalls, I got the big. They do manage to kill kyriaos, who was fed, so that's a big kill for them. But we get a return kill on their attacker as well. And we kill the Snorlax, so this is going to let us score bot lane for free. And this Zoro might be looking to punish our scores, so he's looking at me. We do have Blissey Safeguard, though. So that Shadow Claw does stun, and we need to safeguard it. But yeah, we barely took any damage. Now it's just a reset. We got our scores in. That was a huge play for us on the mid-Bs. I get the last hit there, which is huge. This Zoroark is trying to hit level 9 for the first Reggie. So taking that farm actually is really big for preventing it. And that's why Mime is so good. You can secure so much farm. And now what's happening here, I want to highlight, is my whole team left me. And it's okay. We calmed about this. Like, I know I'm being left, but it's just funny to look at. They are 4-man bot. I'm 1v4, and my team is 4-manning top. And the reason for this is we just want to get our attack weight stacks. So getting attack weight stacks early is so important because once you build up points and you have 50 points, it takes so long to score. So getting them early is really important. So we're saying we'll trade with you. They also want to get their attack weight stacks, so they're going bot. And so we're just trading on the map right now. And so my job and Lunier's job up here is to not die. In that not dying, I can try to stall without dying. However, if I try to stall them, if I try to fight them and I die, it's really bad because they will have a lot more control on the map. So right now, I'm just stalling their scores for a little bit without dying. But it's super risky. I don't recommend this because if you die, it's really, really bad, right? So I managed to stall them for like 30 seconds here that it didn't show off screen, which gave us so much tempo top. So you can see because I've kept them here bot for so long, I'm still alive and I'm keeping them all here. Our Leafeon is taking their entire side of farm. So we got so much XP. And I am a leftovers connoisseur, so I love leftovers. So you can see me, I was 1 HP and now I'm healing back to full health with the leftovers and pad healing. So if you know how to micromanage, I also grabbed a berry, but yeah. I love leftovers because it'll just give you that constant health. Now we're trying to look at a steal without dying again. It's really bad if you die. I timed it well, but they timed it well as well. That's really hard to get. So now we have collapsed 4-man bot. Our Leafeon is doing the top Reggie. And we have the Charizard ult. So I think Overlord just pops the Charizard ult and kills them. And we're going to try to push this pad now and break potentially. However, our Blissey does go down, so it gets a little harder. Kyriaos gets a huge Armouge ult on the Zoroark, gets his full heal out. Now the Zoroark doesn't have full heal for the next 50 seconds. I can try to stun him. So I tried to stun him, but he used his ult to cancel my stun, which is really smart by him. However, it's really hard for him to do anything without the ult and full heal. Now Trainer comes down, and he has Leafeon ult. He's level 10. He's humongous. So I'm just looking to stun them for Trainer to come in. I get a huge stun on the Mewtwo because he didn't have Side Strike up. Zoroark misses his combo, so that's going to be a free Leafeon ult for a kill. And now we're going to get a huge overcap here. So we didn't push the top tier 2 in, but we are now over 100 points up. So this is a great game state for us. We are happy with this. Now we just need to hold this game state and not int. We don't want to die, right? However, if we stay on our side the whole game, it's an issue because they have all this comeback XP. So when you break both pads, there's comeback XP mechanics, and they can take all these dinos. So our goal is to go on their side safely to steal their farm. Otherwise, if we don't do that, they will end up higher level than us at the end of the game, which is really bad. So we still need to be really aggressive. And that's the whole point of our comp. We have the Leafeon, the Mime for the early game. They do have really good early game too, though, so we're very happy with this so far. Now there's a fight breaking out mid. I managed to get a huge stun on the Zoro, and I just Mime ult on top of it. I get the Comfy ult for free. He does hit me with the combo, so I had to flash out of it. And now with no combo, I did flash the combo, so it's not like he misplayed. But because I canceled his combo, the Leafeon can just ult him for free again. So if you look... Oh, I did not mean to lower the volume. So let me go back. Hold on. So here, he hits me with the combo. I flash out of it. And now because he doesn't have a combo, he doesn't have any dashes. And so if you dash the Leafeon ult, you can actually cancel the damage. But because I flashed it, which flashes a 90-second cooldown. So I'm burning a big cooldown to secure this kill. But it's definitely worth it. So we kill all 4. Very good fight for us. Trainer does end up dying, which is a little bad because he's level 12. But honestly, we are a team that's happy with if we have our attack rate stacks in, and we have a huge point lead, we are fine with being the same level, because the points are how you win at the end of the day. So we're saying we'll beat you in the end game team fight, even if we're a similar level, and we want that point lead. So that's why we're happy with these exchanges. However, it's not ideal. Obviously, we're striving to not die, but this is our play style. To stomp games. So we are now up over 150 points. We're getting the spot Reggie for free, which is huge. And now again, we're looking to not int, so we don't want to get into a huge fight. We just blew a lot of ults, so that's why you see us kind of not going for this top objective. We're gonna give them this top objective most likely, but we're saying, hey, we can maybe steal. They just used all their cooldowns on the objective, so we're like, hey, maybe we can steal it with our cooldowns. So we use Arbujol. I come in as Mime. And I actually stunned the Garchomp to kill him and steal the Reggie. So that was an insane play by me. Just an instant replay for a Glaze Watch. So, yeah, the Armor Jolt was huge for that combo to happen. So it was like kind of a combo secure with me and kyriaos. We did blow a lot of ults, so it's going to be a little hard to push this in. But we're going to try to score while they're all dead. And what's important to realize here is we only killed 4. But the Blissey is stopping the Snorlax from backing. So they're technically like all dead kind of because the Snorlax can't even back. And so I think this Snorlax should have just run all the way up instead of trying to back because he gets speed through the speed flex zone. So a bit of an int there. But really well played by us to kind of stop them. And if he ran all the way up, we would get a free 40 score on the bot pad. So we are very happy with this. We've been punishing their mistakes to get a lead. And now they're trying to make a play on the bottom pad. It's their last timer to ult. So you kind of want to ult at this time so you'll have your Unite move back for the Rayquaza fight. So that's what they're looking to do is they're looking to use their Unite moves. And as soon as they're here, I'm just saying like, hey, it's a good time for me to Unite move. I'm going to Unite move really early to kind of stop any counterplay. So that's why you see me just pop ult really fast. Stop all the counterplay. I perma-stun the Zoro and he's just dead. So... this Zoroark Comfy has not been able to play into Mime. This Zoro Comfy is supposed to carry the game. Very infamous combo. And I just perma-stun him because he has no folio from the previous fight. If he had folio, he could unstoppable all those CCs. But honestly, I think that's why in the fight beforehand, the Zoro probably shouldn't have popped his folio. So he could get some comeback XP in this fight. But yeah, nothing's really going to happen until Ray, so we're going to speed up to Ray. There's going to be a couple skirmishes, but nothing big. Until here, so they're trying to look for a fight. I try to stun the Zoro, he dashes through it, very well played. I want to watch Overlord here, because he just runs past the whole team, he goes the other side. Very interesting, but it's because we have a Leafeon on the flank. So they start popping their ults first. I don't have my ult here, though, because I ulted late. So that's important, but let's watch the Leafeon and Overlord. So Leafeon pops ult, kills one, gets out. I think I accidentally lowered the volume again. Charizard also pops ult and is 1 HP, so they get out. and they reset, but we don't want them to flip. So even though we have 2 teams resetting, we're still going to fight because we did kill the Mewtwo. And so I stun the Snorlax, I Mime Ult to secure the kill, I Mime Ult on top of the Garchomp, perma-stun him. And now the Leafeon tried to chase the Zoroconfi, but he did get out until he went back in on the Armouge. And that is going to be GG. We killed 3. The last 2 Pokemon do not have a good secure, so we can just kind of do it in front of their face. However, it was very close, and I had to secure the race. So the Snorlax almost gets it. So watch the Snorlax. I'm trying to stun him out. If you watch, so I stun him there. I stun him there again with my wall. Stun him again. So I did 3 stuns to try to stun him out, but he still gets there in time. And he almost steals this. Look at this. So I had to secure it with a confusion. We almost lost it. So, but that's another thing I like about Mime. And that's why I'm glad we played him, is he has such a good secure on top of all the stuns. So I was the only Mime player at this tournament. And fun fact, a lot of teams have been playing Mime since this performance on Mime. So I've kind of opened up a lot of players to how Mime looks. But at this point, the game's over. So I'm just going to catch you guys in the next game. Alright, welcome back to the second game now. And in this draft, they actually banned Leafeon. So that's what changed here. We did not expect this because they do play Leafeon. But they're saying we don't want to first pick Leafeon like you guys did in your draft. We just think you guys are really good with Leafeon, so we'll just ban it. And we'll take this Blaziken first pick. And Blaziken has been a very strong, possibly the best Pokemon in the game. I think our team would consider Blaziken like the best Pokemon in the game. But I think it's debatable between Armouge and Snorlax. And I want to highlight something we did here. So we took the Hoopa Psyduck. And what we were coin flipping is that Oblivion has 0 games. Literally 0 games on Armouge. Not a single game played in the tournament. Not a single game played on ladder in practice before the tournament. And to give you some context on Armouge, it was 89% win rate across all the matches in NEIC weekend. 89% is an insane win rate. For example, I just told you Blaziken is debatably the best Pokemon in the game. It had like a sub 60% win rate, like something around 55% win rate, I want to say. But so Armouge having an 89% win rate, absolutely insane. This thing was a monster in the tournament. Still is on ladder if you want to play it. Specifically with Fire Spin Psyshock, though, please do not play the other moveset. It's bad. But so we were saying, hey, you might not play it. But we did recognize that they might play it. This was the draft line we were most scared of. But what we were trying to do in draft is just get a super winning draft. Just say, hey, we know you don't play it. Even if you play it, you'll be uncomfortable on it. And so we were hoping to get the Armouge on the 3-4. However, they took it. So now this is a very hard draft line for us. This is what we predicted would be the hardest draft line if they decided to play it. So our answer to the Armouge was Serena. And we're going to take Talonflame bot lane. And then we're just going to go Decidueye. So Decidueye is probably the only counter, in our opinion, to Armouge. In this meta specifically. Serena is not really a counter, but it can fight the Armouge. And we're just saying, like, hey, our late game scalar fighter is going to be Serena. Overlord on Serena is decently iconic. And then we have the Decidueye also to counter the Armouge. And now, what's bad about our comp, though, is we don't have the best early game. Both Decidueye and Serena are not the best in the first 2 minutes. After the first 2 minutes, they're good, though. So we just have to kind of stabilize the first 2 minutes. And our goal is to not lose our pads so our Decidueye can easily play the game. And so, also something about our comp is I'm playing Hoopa. So I'm not playing a tank, I'm playing Hoopa. So we don't have a tank. And that is a very much harder comp to play. So this is what we had prepared. We have practiced it a couple times in scrims, but it's definitely one of our weakest draft lines of the tournament. And so this game's going to look a lot different from last game, because last game we got a lot of the draft we wanted. This game's going to be a lot harder. They drafted it a lot better, made a lot of great adjustments to their draft. So yeah, the lanes are going to be kind of boring, so I'm just going to skip to the first minute. None of the lanes have kill pressure. So the first timer we want to look at is 850. And so we have 3-man top. They decided to 4-man bot. So what they're saying here is we don't care if you get your stacks in. We're going to trade and we're going to get our stacks below at the game bot lane. And the reason this exchange can work, leaving tops, is because bot lane has so much more experience. So those Indeedis in bot lane give so much more experience than the farm in the top lane. So they're saying, hey, we'll have will have a huge EXP lead on you, even if you get your stacks in on your hyper late game scalers. But we are happy with this exchange because we get our Serena stacked up and Serena pretty early on. And they're just saying, we'll try to beat you with the levels we have versus the stacks you have on. But Overlord's going to be fed, obviously. Just not really the rest of us. So actually, I think I forget what happened exactly in the games, but if you notice, our levels are higher. So what happened is me and kyriaos actually held bot lane pretty well against their fighting, and that's why the levels are even. But normally it's not supposed to go that way. But me and kyriaos must have smurfed the bot lane in the 2v4 for them to not be high level. So this is going very well for us. We decide to match their 5-man top with our 5-man. I forget if I ported up or we just walked. Yeah, so we have Hoopa port. So we just collected all the farm bot, and now we can respond to them trying to 5-man top. And what they're trying to do right now is they're trying to kill Overlord. They're like, okay, Overlord's fed now. Let's try to 5-man kill him. But we come and back him up. They do kill the Psyduck though, and I think Overlord eventually goes down. But because we matched as 5, we got some kills back. So it's not the worst for us, not the best. But again, they have way better early game, so we are happy with this so far. Not way better. I'd say like slightly better early game. But we're fine with this as long as we can keep our pads. And so now it's just another full-on fight. It was a 3v4, by the way, I believe, and we still won that fight 3v4. We now have a level 9 Decidueye. So things are going very, very well for us so far. Decidueye is very good secure on that first objective, so it looked a little sus, but we have very good odds on that. Now we're just going to insta-port bot and do it. Insta-port top, sorry. I don't know if I said bot or not. We did try to make it in time, but they flipped the objective and got it. Sorry, I am hiccuping. But we're just going to hold that Regieleki, make sure they don't get any comeback XP on it. Our Psyduck went to hold bot solo for now. Now, since the Reggie's gone, there's not really any pressure. We're going to go bot lane and kind of stabilize the game. We're going to do this 3-2 split. And the next things we're going to play for are the bees that will spawn in middle around like 6 minutes. And the top and bot bees that spawn around 550. And so now Otter's trying to get some vision on those mid bees that I talked about. But Revelation did a really good job of controlling middle. So they have 4 in middle, so we have to be safe. We're just going to stay on the pads here. And now we're going to respond to their 4-man with 3. And what we're saying every time the 4-man or 5-man is like, hey, we're stronger. We have Hoopa to easily rotate. So we're going to take this 3v4 and we're happy with it. Because we're so strong, we can do that. And we'll get value on the other side of the map. So, yeah, both sides just played for bees. Now we're looking for a fight in middle now that we have all our ults. So Overlord pops his folio, pops his unite, kills 2. And now we're going to try to convert into breaking bot. And so getting more levels on Overlord and more stacks would be nice, but they did a good job of holding, so we decide to just break it with the support points that we had. They did do a good job of responding, and now I'm dead, which is bad. But I think the bot break is worth it. We had the Psyduck ult to stall them. We had the Decidueye to secure the objective. So we're overall still happy with this. And now Trainer's going to go for a steal on it. Doesn't quite get it, so unfortunate. The bot break might have been a little risky. I think we would have preferred to be able to play for this objective, but we're not unhappy with this situation. The Buzzle ults on me, and you can see I timed my stun perfectly to stun him as soon as he lands. And he's not going to be able to do anything because he gets stun locked. And so now we're going to use this tempo of killing a couple. kyriaos gets a really good assassination on their support to try to steal their jungle. Again, taking their farm on their side is so important. The farm is what gives you the experience, not the kills in this game. A lot of people don't realize that kills don't really matter, especially on the supports. You kill like a level 9 support when you're level 11. You're getting less experience than an NDD would give you. So the farm is really much more important. And that's why you'll see like the support and tank like me and Otter will just go and die And sometimes that's good because it gives you your ult faster. You're distracting the enemy team. And so it's actually really good to die on support and tank in this game. So we're trying to fight now, and the Reggie did go in, and Overlord's trying to fight, but you can see there that Armuge actually just beats Serena. So there's a level 12 Serena versus the level 11 Armuge. Both are getting slightly pocketed by their supports, and the Armuge wins. So that's how strong Armuge is. We got our Serena online, and they still, Serena still can't beat Armuge in these team fights. But if we get like a more ideal team fight, I could see it happening. I maybe could have scored here. I was reviewing this, and I was like, I was trying to score, but I was about to get knocked up, I believe. Let me review this closer. So I'm the Hoopa here, if you look. I Phantom Force forward, trying to score. No, yeah, so the Eldegoss was about to knock me up, so I could not score. I actually played that really well. But I wasn't able to get my score in. However, the Talonflame gets a score. I pop a portal before the Talon dies. So what's important is the carries don't die. So you can see here, right as I die, I just died right there. I placed a portal for a Talon to get out after our Talonflame scored 50 points. And then Otter's just going to die for his score, and we think that's worth it. So this is actually, I didn't even realize this was about to happen, but this is exactly what I said about dying to get those points in this case is very good. As long as our Talonflame didn't die, because our Talonflame is level 13, we do not want to give XP over. But yeah, we have both our pads, so we're very happy with this game state. We are stomping once again. And so all we have to be careful of is them going on our Decidueye in these late game team fights. And so we're both playing for this bottom objective. They have the chance to pop ults here because they're ahead. I pop my hoop ult. So originally we wanted the Serena to use ult, but you can see again the Serena is struggling in these fights into Armuge. So they managed to catch Overlord out, and Overlord dies. And so I had to use hoop ult, which is really bad. We still want to use hoop ult to get the third bot Reggie, because what's important about these bot Reggies that spawn before Ray is the other bot Reggies aren't important, but this one is, because you'll have this Reggie buff during the Rayquaza. So Regirock gives that 30% defense buff. It might be 20%, I forget. But having that during the Rayquaza fight is really, really important. So trading my hoop, we're basically exchanging the hoop ult for the Reggie buff during Ray. And personally, like, we would have liked to trade the Serena ult. So that's why Overlord was going in trying to Serena ult someone, and we were trying to like secure the Reggie guaranteed off of that. But we weren't able to do that, so I had to quick respond with my hoop ult, which isn't ideal. We would have liked to use another ult, but we were talking about it before the Reggie fight happened, and we are like, hey, we probably need to pop Serena or hoop ult. None of the other ults will kind of guarantee the objective. And so here the fight is breaking out. And I actually think this is really bad for us how it played out, because we just kind of want to perma poke them and kind of protect our Decidueye and not give them a full team fight like this. But they get the engage on us. The Buzzwole Flash ejects for me, and I tank it for the Decidueye, which is the best I can do for a Decidueye. I don't even have hoop ult, so I'm just kind of a walking like ward for my team. But letting them engage like this was bad. I think we're a little too far forward. So Overlord goes in, tries to kill that Armuge, but the Armuge still had the Blissey buff, I believe. But yeah, we want to be more towards our pad too, so we want to be near this bottom tier 1 pad. But yeah, let me just play out the fight and stop yapping about it so you guys can see what happened. So yeah, we're 4v2 now. They got 3 kills. Really well played by them. They played the secure really well. And we do have a huge point lead, so we can try to stop their scores now. But they did manage to kill a lot of us, and we used all their ults, so it's going to be really hard to stop their scores. They get in the last lax score, and now it's going to be really hard. Now we have to come back, so I'm going to fast forward to when we push their pad. We just had to get 1 cap in, so it's really close. 1 like big cap though, so it's going to be a little hard. They have Ray Shields they've scored, so they're going to have ults back faster than us, so this is a really hard, almost impossible situation. And they even sneak around with Blaziken, score another 100. And yeah, it's over now. We need to get 2 caps. They managed to kill our Psyduck. We're not doing any damage to them. They still have their shields, so it's just cooked. The game's over. But yeah, obviously, like, I think Trainer could have played this a little better. Burned Flash a little too early, was a little too far forward. And then he could have canceled ult faster to kind of get away. But what happened was they ulted on Buzzwole, and when Buzzwole gets a kill, he gets a beast boost and he gets a lot of speed. So I even, like, I went back here to make sure the Buzzwole wouldn't be closer to Decidueye when he ulted me as Hoopa. Again, he flash ulted me, so nothing I can really do there. And then the Blaziken flashed over this wall, I believe, towards our Decidueye. So they're playing it really well. They know they just need to target Decidueye and they'll win the fight. And so really well played by them. I think this is kind of a newer comp for us, so we're really accustomed to the Blaziken comp, but kind of knowing our roles here, positioning well, we did not do. Because I think we should have won this team fight. It's definitely a lot harder to play well in a team fight like this, but we definitely should have won. And then also, Overlord was talking about this after, is we had Talonflame ult still, and we can use this ult to kind of stop them from flipping. So like, we have death timers that are coming back very soon. So they're on a timer. They have to do this raid really fast. So if we just fly in as Talon, do some damage, and then ult them as well, we can stop them from flipping and actually get a fight. Because if you see, we're actually like, we can play this 2v4 fight. It's actually very hard. Now that the Armouge is dead, it's very hard for them to kill the Serena. So it's actually like, if you look at these, and especially since we're coming back soon, the fight's actually very close. So if we ulted to stop them from flipping instead of ulting in like we did, we maybe could have won the game still. So quite a few mistakes in the Ray fight that we do need to touch up before Worlds. But yeah, I will see you in the next game. It is now 1-1. Alright, so I'm here in the next draft. So you can see what changed here is we get to decide which pick we want. So we went first pick again. You'll notice in a lot of tournaments, teams will pick first pick. It's just better because you get to control the draft. Especially when preparing drafts, it's a lot easier to tell what's going to go on first pick. And so this was something we prepared. We knew if we blew them out the first game with the Leafy on first pick that they would ban it potentially. And if they ban Leafy on first pick, we are very happy with getting the Suicune first pick. So again, we had the same bans, and now we get the Suicune first pick, which Suicune also had an insanely high win rate, I believe, along with Armouge. So these are the two kind of premier attackers in this tournament, but we personally think the best way to play Suicune is as EXP share. And then another thing we changed is now that they showed they can pick Armouge and win on it, we're just going to start early picking Armouge in the draft because we think Armouge is really broken. Even before the stats came out, we had this opinion of Armouge is just probably the best Pokemon in the game, debatably. I think it's between like Suicune, Armouge, Blaziken, maybe like Psyduck, Hoopa, those mons. And then we're just going to pick Serena again. Because Serena was doing well when there wasn't an Armouge. We have faith in the Serena when there isn't an Armouge. And then Zoroark is just that early game pick to give us some early game presence. And what's interesting about their comp, they went Duraludon. And I actually knew in prep, because I'm like the analyst guy that analyzes what I think the other team will do. We do have an analyst that does a lot of work for us. But I've always been really good at analyzing what the other team will do in the tournament. And I knew they'd pick Duraludon in this draft. So basically their mindset is Mewtwo's not going to be good into our comp because Mewtwo gets countered by a lot of our Pokemon. So if Intel is banned, he would play Intel if it was up. But if Intel is banned, Mewtwo isn't good, he will play Duraludon. And so they have Mew Jungle, which I'm not a fan of this, personally. I'm not a fan of their comp at all. I think their comp is kind of pretty bad. So we're pretty confident going in this game. We got everything we wanted in this draft. We got the Armouge, we got the Suicune. We still have really good early game. So we are very happy with this draft. And so yeah, what's interesting is again, I'm not playing a tank. You cannot always not play a tank every game, but kind of they have Snorlax, which doesn't have the best lockdown. So we can get away with not having a tank into Snorlax, and Snorlax is really broken. It was actually the most picked Pokemon by far in NEIC. Oh, okay. Let me break down this early game, though, because this early game is really fun. So, they had their support missing. So, when they had their support missing top lane, their support went to do red. You're like, oh, maybe their support is invading. And especially since they were missing bot lane, because they buff split, we're like, oh, we're worried they're going to invade. So, I go back to help the Zoro in the jungle. And so I did the mid Dino bot. I go back to help the Zoro in the jungle. If you see on the minimap, you can see my pathing. I'm the Hoopa. And so now they come with 3 top. So the Mew just 1 buffs top. And we get a really good secure, really nice secure by Suicune on our farm. And now after helping the Zoro, I'm like, I'll just run top. I'll come help you guys. And so I was in the push, so they didn't see me, and I get this huge stun combo on 3. I had both my abilities on 3, and we just completely wiped them early game. So they got completely destroyed early game. The trade, though, is we're trading bot lane. So our bot lane is currently 1v2, and so their bot lane will be strong. But we're saying, hey, you drafted Duraludon. We are not scared of this Duraludon being fed. And so that is how we're punishing their draft and their early game strategy. So I think really well played by us. And look, I helped out bot lane hard win, and now I just port bot, and I can still play bot for the bees. So we're not even losing too much with bot lane. And that is what is so strong about this Hoopa with the hyperspace portal. And now they do run top with Duraludon. So now we're getting fed bot lane again. They do get a kill over, but we are happy with this because we're fed top lane. Now we're going to be fed bot lane because they left bot lane. We are very happy with this early game. We have the point lead. We have a level lead. They're Blaziken. Or, okay, not level lead. We're similar in levels, but hey, we are very happy with this early game so far. And now we're going to have our Serena try to hit level 6. Our Serena has stacks, has level 6 for the mid Bs, and level 6 is the huge power spike for Serena. So we're very happy with that. Now, both teams are going to be playing for the mid Bs, it looks like. We are going to be slightly late. So we're honestly happy playing for kills here. Actually, we were pretty on time, but because they have Blaziken, we need to be early because the Blaziken can kidnap like this. But we're just going to collapse on them. It's a full 5v5 brawl, and we are so much stronger. Our comp is so much stronger on this timer. We have stacks, and that's going to make us stronger as well, even though we were similar levels. I actually think we were ahead in levels by then, yeah. So, because of the early game, we did have a slight level lead, and at that exact timer, we had us, even though like the XP is only like 30% more, I'd say, like we hit those power spikes for the mid Bs, which is really important. So now we're just going to fight bot. They did manage to kidnap Overlord, so he is in trouble, and he barely managed to go down, which is really sad. It's actually really sad because, like, yeah, we still hard won the play, but we want those stacks on our Serena, which we no longer... it's going to be hard to get those stacks on the Serena, but hey, he still has 1 to 2 stacks, so we just have to get a couple more. But obviously getting those 6 attack weight stacks is really important. So it is really good for them that they managed to bring the Serena down, but we managed to team wipe them. And now, yeah, we have the portal, so we can respond to any lane they go. So that's why we're just keeping 2 down here. They are playing a 5-man top, but we're not worried because we can just portal up, and that's why portal is so strong in pro play. We do manage to get the break on the Zoro. Trainer just full heals, and I place. So if you look, this is really good team coordination. Even like while he's scoring, I already placed the portal at the perfect timer for him to just insta take it out, so they can't punish him at all. Because if we didn't have portal, they just try to punish and kill the Zoro work. But he does have to burn full heal, so it's gonna be a lot harder to play for this. However, we've already said, hey, we don't need to play for this. You know, like we're very strong. If they get it, it's whatever. We can still fight them and kill them. But we're gonna score bot. We don't even care what you're doing here. And so they secure it well, but we're gonna get some kills back. Because they had to use all their coolers on the objective. We're so strong right now. We're just taking this 45. We don't care. We got the armored score on their bot pad. And now we have over a huge 200 point lead. And this is the power of Hoopa Hyperspace Hold. When you blow them out early game, it's gonna be a chokehold on them. It's really hard for them to break any of our pads now because we can insta-port across the map in 2 seconds. Fun fact, Latios and Latias are coming out on the anniversary, and they are now like the only Pokemon that have a similar mechanic to Hoopa, where they can teleport across the map to each other. So that's going to be insanely broken, just like how Hyperspace Hole Hoopa has been broken for multiple years now in pro play. And yeah, now they're just going to farm their side, which is smart. You want to put these on a timer. They respawn after 1 minute. The more farm they get, the stronger they'll be late game. They're just saying we're probably going to have to flip. And like you saw last game, even if we have a huge point lead, they can still win if they get Rayquaza. So this game is not over by any means. They're doing really well by farming. Now they're going to look to punish us if we try to go on their side, because we are going to go on their side. Like I explained in the first game, it is really important macro-wise to still go on their side. We managed to sneak in a bunch of scores in their top pad because they were grouping middle, which isn't necessarily bad play. So Otter pops his Suicune ult here, and we armor jolt on top of it, and we managed to get a kill. And we get the Mew ult out when he's 1 HP. So trading our Suicune support to kill their support. Not the best, not the worst. We traded ults. I think we're overall happy though because we scored on that top tier 2 and we needed to get out. We were very happy with that. So now I have my hoop ult. So playing around this hoop ult is very important. So what we were saying is, hey, if they push top pad, I will hoop ult and I can bring 5 people in. Otherwise, we're just going to 4-man do this bottom objective if they don't contest. They do end up contesting, so we're just going to take the full flip here. Trainer charged up his Zoro combo, so the final Night Slash is really good. You can see he just uses his full feint attack on the Thane, and he's going to have his final hit, which is a really good secure. And he times it super well played by Trainer. And now I just port down here to fight, but I don't even need to pop hoop ult because we're hard winning. And so my last hoop ult timer I can use is like around 3:45. So we're still greeting the hoop ult, and we can play so much cross map with that hoop ult. So we try to get some scores in. They respawn bot. Our Serena's fine. Our Suicune might die here. So this Blaziken flashes to kill the Suicune support, which I don't know if I agree with. That Blaziken flash is going to be so important to get comeback XP, and yeah, they weren't even able to continue fighting off of it because we spread out really well. So kind of a waste of a Blaziken flash. And now, yeah, they burned a lot of their cooldowns. They're saying they can't contest. And so what we're going to do here now is we're going to cross-map split pressure. So because you have that hoop ult, we can 4-man top and pressure top. And we're so strong that they have to be nervous of this 4v5 even. But they also have to keep someone bot. And they have to keep multiple bot because I can hoop a port in 5-man bot. So, you can look here. We had a bunch of people bot. And I already hoop ulted like right now because I noticed, hey, there's one bot. And even if they are responding to this hoop ult and they back, then we can push top it. So we're so strong that this is really hard for them to hold any lane. So you just go bot, we kill a Duraludon, the LD tries to make it back, but we're just going to get a ton of scores in. And this Serena is so strong, you can like pressure, and they still to keep like 2 or 3 people there. So we're going to break their bot pad off this. And honestly, there's not much counterplay after they lost the early game. Like, I don't think they're playing particularly that bad. This is just showing the strength of Hoopa if you hard steamroll them early game. And you have a comp that can fight really hard. And so I think, like, honestly, they just had to have a better early game. But they picked that Duraludon, which is not the best early game. And they have Blaziken. So their early game was really weak, and we were able to punish that. They tried to do some weird strategies, as you saw at the start of this game, with that buff split and going to punish Overlord top, that we just completely shut down. But they did recognize their comp. So they were playing well because they recognized those weaknesses in their comp, and they tried to kind of have like a weird strategy, which is what you need to do, honestly, to kind of cheese the early game. Now, they've been doing really well poking us out, so they're just going to flip. And now you see what I was talking about last game, where we're going to send that Serena ult to try to win this fight instead of the hoop ult. So this time, they don't have armor, so it's a lot easier for Overlord to go in, pop his Serena ult to guarantee win the fight. And even if they got this Reggie, they're going to be team wiped. And they used their Duraludon ult. So we traded Duraludon ult for Serena ult, and we killed them all. So we were very happy with that trade. But yeah, we're not going to be able to flip off of this team wipe. So we still have to win another fight. They're still very much in the game. If they can get a flip off. So it's going to be our goal to stop them from being able to flip this objective. And so we're going to play really aggressive on their side of the map to try to stop that. So, oh, actually, never mind. Scratch what I said. I forgot. We decided to kind of, we call this Yamada, and we're just going to go for the point lead. So we're saying even if you get Rayquaza, because we team wiped you, you're low on points. So even if you get Rayquaza, you won't win because we're just going to score. And me, the Hoopa, which is me, the Armouge, and the Suicune can actually fight them very safely. And live. So you can see here, I Hoopa ult to bring in our Serena and Zorak who are scoring. And I helped Kyriaos get out. So Kyriaos has been fighting to stall him from flipping the Rayquaza. And he almost dies, and he manages to take my Hoopa out, Hoopa ult out 1 HP. So the Hoopa value this game has been phenomenal. It actually, like, in this specific game, it looks like the best Pokemon in the game. But obviously, it's being enabled by the Pokemon we picked around it. And yeah, this game is over. 4 dead. This Blaziken is going to come in and try to secure. But we even have time to just kill the Blaziken if we want. Yeah, look, we just turn on Blaze King, kill him, finish the raid, no one's there. And I secure another raid after the first game. So both games we won, I secured the Rayquaza. The game's going to be over, and we are going on to the final game. I will see you guys there. Alright, what is up, guys? I am back in the final game draft. So, what we changed here is, I don't know if we changed our bans, actually. I think it's the same bans, but what they changed is they didn't ban Leafeon, and they took first pick Leafeon. And so they actually decided to ban Armouge, so that is huge. We're actually happy with that, because we don't want to have to take the Armouge on the 1-2. It'd be better if we can take, like, you know, what you see here. We took the Blaziken side up. So I actually think it was a bit of a throw for them to ban the Armouge. But, I mean, I guess they were scared of the 1-2 Armouge. That would still be a very strong draft for us. So I don't blame them for doing this draft. And so they've tried a bunch of different strats. They've tried Duraludon. They've tried Zoro Comfey. They've really dug deep into their pockets. And so we take Snorlax Mewtwo here just because it's a very safe court. Excuse me. And yeah, so the final strat they're trying to do is Sableye. And we have historically been pretty bad into Sableye. I mean, Sableye is just really annoying to play into. It's going to kind of stabilize. A good Sableye player will kind of stabilize the game. Because it's really good early and really good throughout the game to keep the point lead even. Really good to break those tier 1 pads. And what's interesting here is Hoopa's in the game, and we decide to just not take it. And Revelation doesn't take it because they're not the best on Hoopa. And this is a game where we're just saying, like, hey, you have Sableye, we'd rather just be able to full team fight you, not get punished. And we take that Mimikyu, and Trainer actually goes Trick Room because Shadow Sneak is not the best into Aegislash. So I think they actually had a good response in draft here. I think their draft was solid. And you'll see in, like, this Game 2 and Game 4 on second pick, they had solid first pick drafts. So you can see kind of like the stark difference between first pick and second pick. First pick was definitely much stronger in this tournament. And so what's interesting is the Sableye can decide to invade our jungle. That's a very common Sableye strategy. Or kind of try to punish them top. And what Dispenza decides to do is try to make sure they can't score top and punish them top. But he doesn't play the best. Overlord gets the kill. However, it's not the best kill. Only he had to burn his flash, and that's why it's not the best. And I told you guys before, it's not the most value. And it actually ends up being really bad, because now we don't have flash on Blaziken for bees, and they can easily punish that. But basically, the reason it was bad, but Overlord still went for the play, is because the Leafeon was invading our jungle. So you can see the Leafeon went to our jungle. So Overlord's saying, hey, I'll kill him, and then I'll score. He can score 11 points if the Psyduck helps him, you know. But then the Leafeon leaves the jungle and he's going back to lane, so we're like, oh, we can't do that plan anymore. So that's why it ends up bad. But honestly, they have Sableye Leafeon, so it's like we're responding well to what they're doing. It's really hard for us to win an early game against Sableye Leafeon. That's probably the best early game core you can play. And so we decided to form in top because bot lane went really well. So we hard stomp bot lane. You can see, if you look at the point difference, it's insane. And they're both level 4. We're level 5 Mega Mewtwo. And that's how we're going to stabilize this early game, is we're going to have a Mega Mewtwo on the first bees. And so they form in with the Mew, but we have such a strong Mega Mewtwo here. I personally think we could have pushed this pad. So I think it was a bit int for us to not push this pad when we have like a really strong Mega Mewtwo Y. I wasn't up there to make calls on it though. But basically, they wanted to wait for the Leafeon to kind of leave the lane and then get the scores. And this does guarantee the Blaziken score, so it's not the worst. And Overlord manages to barely live, so really well played by Otter and kyriaos to do it. So the play ends up really, really good. So what they did was definitely a slightly safer play. I just think we could have pushed earlier and kind of made sure the Leafeon doesn't even get his jungle right now, and then we could invade the jungle. I think we were that strong, but this is definitely the safer play to do overall. And now our Mewtwo is already mid for bees. I have been 1v1 against this Mamoswine, and I've been securing most of the farm. You can see in the point difference, I'm close to 30 points already. They didn't show mid bees, which I really think they should have, but it's okay. We managed to get most of the mid bees. We are very happy with this so far because, again, they have an insane early game, and now we are winning the early game. But I think that goes to show, I think it's really important to be able to win bot lane. And they had a really strong bot lane. Mamoswine Mew should be able to win bot lane. But I really like our pairing of Snorlax Mewtwo into that. I think it's like we even out the odds. Like either of us could have won bot lane, and we just played better and won bot lane, and we managed to take over the game from bot lane. So it's really important. Now, again, we're just going to play for top. We're saying, hey, if you trade bot and you go like 4-man bot, we're fine with that. And me and kyriaos' job is just to like stall here and not die. But in this comp specifically, it's going to be really hard not to die because they have Sableye, they have Mamoswine. But I definitely could have lived way easier. I got hit by the Mamoswine tackle, so that was definitely int by me. I could have played this much better. We could have stalled for much longer. Honestly, I feel like there's a world we could have played this where they couldn't even score and kill us. But it was my fault there that I died, so I should have not been in the range for the Mamoswine to hit me, but really well played by Pikatif for that. Now they're going to get the bot, Reggie, but we're happy with getting our stacks top. We have a level 9 Blaziken, level 9 Mimikyu, so it is not the worst at all. But again, you can see like how much better this game state looks for them because I died bot lane. So it was really bad that I died on that push. Definitely a big misplay by me. But now we're just going to break their top out. I believe we got a small over only, but we're going to continue to get like 6 stacks on our Blaziken. And that's what we're saying is our win con this game, is just getting our Blaziken fully stacked up in the early game. And our Blaziken will take over the game from there. And, you know, it's Overlord. He's infamously like the best carry player to carry the team. So we're very happy with this game state. Even though they have a point lead, that's going to be inevitable with the Leafeon Sableye. So we're saying we're not caring about that. We're just going to play to be very strong and keep the point lead semi-even. And so now we're saying we're strong enough to potentially push this pad. Not maybe like push the Reggie all the way in, but we can get kills. Because again, this Reggie forces them to stay there. I go for the flash play, but they play around it really well. Oh, okay. Actually, I get the full heal for my flash, so it's not the worst. The Aegislash has to full heal out or I would have kidnapped him. And so the Leafeon ult goes on Overlord. We Mimikyu ult the Leafeon to make sure they can't get the kill on the Blaziken. But ultimately our Mimikyu goes down for it. And we didn't even get any kills, so it's definitely not the best situation. But Blaziken excels at this timer. When everyone has blown their Unite moves in the game, now the Blaziken will be very strong in the next fight. Unfortunately, kyriaos does get caught out there, so you can see the inexperience against Sableye. We can definitely avoid a lot of these deaths. And they're doing really well at stabilizing this mid game. This is a lot better game state than the last 3 games. So I actually think their draft plan here, their strategy was very good adaptation throughout the series. Besides the Duraludon. I did not like the Duraludon last game, but I think this game, their like adaptation to us and their draft plan was a lot better. And so here we're just going to mid position and potentially top. My job, again, is just to stall and not die. So hopefully I can do that better this time. I'm going to trickle into ult soon. It should be a lot easier for me to stall and not die. And they do correctly assess that we're going for this top tier 2 play. And so we're going to have to give up the Reggie. It's not the biggest deal, though. The Reggie on its own doesn't give much stuff. And we're just saying it probably... Like, the thing is, if we played for the bot Reggie, what they can do with the Leafeon Sableye is just score behind us. And they get a bigger point lead. So, like, what we're doing with this is we're saying, like, hey, we don't want you to get more points in. So we'll play for the top Reggie instead. However, here we take a really bad fight middle. Our Mimikyu insta-dies, which was really unfortunate. And they get 2 kills. So this mid-game's going really well for them. But what we've been doing a good job of is making sure they don't score. So we're trading, like, all this XP for them not being in a huge point lead, which is ideal because... okay, they int on our pad, which they should have done. But it's ideal because if we get our levels in, we're saying we'll beat you. If we're even level, we'll beat you in the team fight because you have Sableye. It's not the best team fighting Pokemon. And so even though it looks bad, we're getting like killed a lot. It's much better than the Sableye scoring 40 points behind us throughout the game and us being in like a 200 point deficit. And you can see like basically the way we're playing. All we need is one game-breaking team fight to win the game. And now with the top Reggie pushing in, they have to have someone hold it. We're looking to break the game open on the spot pad. And it is our last timer to fight. However, Mimikyu goes down again. So it has been a really rough game for Trainer. I wouldn't necessarily blame Trainer mechanically. I think, I don't know. We decided to pick the Trick Room Mimi. I don't think it was the best here. Maybe like Blue Urshi would have been better. But yeah, the Trick Room Mimi has been suffering this game, so it's not been the best game for him. We thought maybe it would be, but again, we're inexperienced in Disabilize, so I don't think we came up with the best counter strat in the jungle. We probably could have had a better jungler. Good job by kyriaos to stop that. He used an animation cancel on Mewtwo. If you watch closely, you'll see an auto attack comes out during side strike. That's a nice animation cancel. That's actually really important to do at a pro level because it builds up your mega gauge every time you side strike. I teach people how to do it on my streams, which I'm going to start daily streaming soon. So if you have a question about that, just pop in my chat during my stream and I will show you how to do that animation cancel on Mewtwo. But yeah, so we're trying to play for this third bot regi because I explained how important it is. So this is why Mamoswine's really strong. If you're in a bush, you cannot react to the earthquake. It is completely invisible. Obviously Pikachu plays it well. But there's no counterplay from me for that because we don't know the bushes. My job is just to walk up and hope I live, basically. Into their comp, they have a lot of stuns. But we managed to punish the Leafeon off the play. So now it's a 4v4. So it's really, really good for us. If we did not kill the Leafeon, we would have had to give him the bot regi, which isn't the end of the world, but obviously we really wanted to play for that. You can see with our positioning. And now, if you look at the levels, yes, we have a point deficit, but we have a level 14 Blaziken, and that is our win condition for this game. It is going to be a tough team fight, though. The Leafeon ult is really good for trying to blow up the Blaziken. And so they're getting the vision with Sableye. Sableye is really good at getting vision. And now they're pushing Trainer out. So I take over the bot right out because we really don't want to give over this bush control to them. It makes it really hard for us to be in the raid pit if they're in that bush. And Overlord kind of wrapped around the bot side. But we didn't know this Leafeon was in the bush. So Leafeon pops, X attack, goes on Overlord. Really well played by Leafeon. Overlord dashes out of the Leafeon ult there, so it doesn't fully one-shot him. But now the Mamoswine flashes on Overlord, gets the Ice Vein on Overlord. But we managed to get Overlord out with the peel. I believe we Mimikyu ulted the Leafeon to finish him off. And watch me in this fight. So I ulted and I went over, and I actually went over the jump pad. I did not mean to do that. It's not the worst, but it was really funny. I've never had that happen to me in a tournament before. I go over the jump pad just in the middle of World War III. And Overlord manages to live. He's just going to reset. Even if Trainer goes down, our Blaziken is full health coming back, our main carry. Where the Mewtwo Y has Mega Form, just cleaning up the fight. Mewtwo Y is really broken in these extended fights. It's like where Mewtwo Y is strongest in this game. And now it's a Mamoswine and Leafeon versus a Blaziken overheat secure. It's going to be really easy for us to secure this. But kyriaos was yelling like, go, 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 flip Ray. And he was like overloading comms. So definitely shouldn't do that. But it was really funny. He was very hyped to be in that winning position. And yeah, it's very hard for them to come back from this now. We're going to get all our scores in. And at the end, this is the clip you saw at the start of the game. We go and take the winning pose in the center. It's really hyped to do this. Put Overlord in the center and we all back with our cool skins. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video recapping how we won 3 internationals in a row. I will hopefully catch you guys in a video soon and some live streams soon.